Now, according to this article, ChatGPT is to blame for sparking a divorce between a man and a woman from Greece over coffee reading. And as I'm reading this, I look at it with horror and despair over the fact that it seems as if humanity has lost its ability of engaging in critical thought. Now, I don't know whether this is because of social media. Maybe things are different in reality. But it does feel as if people do not care about context anymore. They do not care about nuance. They do not look at an individual case and try to make their opinion based on what we know and what we don't know. Instead, most people seem to make up their mind over something, such as AI bad or AI good, and then they view the universe through that lens and apply that mindset to every single individual case that involves AI. Like, did you notice that, right? Like there will be people that are ChatGPT good, and they're looking at this and they're blaming the woman, and there are people that will say ChatGPT bad, and they're looking at this and they're wondering why hasn't OpenAI been sued yet. And so I will show you how to actually engage in critical thinking using the information that we know versus the information that we don't know. And so the first thing that you need to wonder is, what exactly is AI? A lot of people enjoy anthropomorphizing it. A lot of people enjoy treating it as if it's a conscious, as if it's an actual entity, when in reality it's a glorified spell checker. It's a glorified autofill. You know, when you're in Microsoft Word or you're on your phone and you're writing a sentence and the next word pops up, that's a very primitive AI. Like, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about a tool. We're not talking about like a mystified oracle that is able to predict the truth. And if people don't understand this, then that individual person is a moron or hasn't done the basic research in order to trying to figure out the tool that they're using to influence their life, what it actually is and what it actually does. And so I don't think the company that makes the tool is to blame. I think the individual is the one winning the Darwin Award. If you use the AI the same way that you use a search engine, and when you're on Google, you're looking for something and you find results and you understand that those results aren't necessarily true, it's just what people are mostly searching for, and then you're going on the web page and you're treating every single web page individually, and you're thinking whether or not the person behind the page is trying to lie to you or scam you, and you're not blaming Google at all, then congratulations, you actually know how to use an AI. You actually understand what it is. But if you're the other type of person that uses Google search engine as if it's some oracle, as if it's some divine mystic, bringer of truth and knowledge, then congratulations, not only did you win the Darwin Award, it's actually unsafe for you to use the AI. And so let's look at this particular incident, right? ChatGPT sparks divorce drama. Can an AI coffee reading predict infidelity? So what it is about? Well, apparently when something like this happens, when a woman is willing to file divorce over trivial shit, people read this and they think that the coffee is the issue. And so if you think that the coffee is the issue, congratulations, you're either a virgin or a homosexual. Because you never lived with a woman for longer than a couple of months. You never went into a relationship. If you're actually looking at this news article and you're thinking, oh yes, the coffee is the problem. No, if it reaches to the point where a woman files a divorce over a cup of coffee, then the relationship was severely broken before the coffee was even set to brew. And so if we're to analyze, well, whose fault is it? What happened? Because I see a lot of people saying, well, the woman is insane. And the answer is maybe. She could be insane. That's a valid statement. But how do we know? Do we have all the knowledge? What's her name? What's her husband's name? Why don't you know? How can you make statements without knowing all the facts? How can you analyze a situation if you don't even know the name of herself, her husband, her kids, where they live, what type of people they are? We don't know. But like we like to pretend we know. That's not critical thinking. That's moral absolutism. Like you already made your view of the world and you're not engaging with the situation. You just want to pass over it, cast a judgment, pretend that you know, and then walk away. And by the way, this type of thinking is fine for trivial shit. Not every single coffee cup needs to be an existential philosophical argument. But unfortunately, most people apply this logic to everything now. There's no more critical thinking. There's no more stopping and trying to analyze the situation and figuring out what happened. Using the facts that we know versus the facts that we don't. No, people already, they have like cookie cutter assumptions and then just apply it, bam, bam, bam. And I don't think this makes the world a better place. I think like these poor, uninformed decisions is what destroyed our economy. This is how people behaved during COVID, during the pandemic. This is how people supported the science and the printing of money. This is how people support censorship. This is how people support authoritarianism. And I genuinely think that this coffee cup and this woman is showing us the reality on why we live in a shit society. And so what exactly did happen? Well, if you read the article, and it seems that I actually knew the article before reading it, which is very simple to do. All you need to do is critical think. The woman was jealous, which is pretty much the reason for a lot of breakups. Now, was she jealous for good reason? I don't know. Maybe she was insecure. Apparently, she believes that the husband was thinking too much about the younger woman. And so she suspected him of infidelity, and she did the coffee test. But the coffee test in itself, in this situation, if you understand how women think, is not what actually led to the divorce. The coffee test was always meant to fail. The coffee test was to justify to herself how to get the divorce and feel good about it. Because apparently they have children. So she had to justify to herself that she's doing the right thing. And if it wasn't for the coffee test, if it wasn't for ChatGPT, it could have been her asking a friend, her going out to the pub and meeting another man and asking him. Could have been anything that would trigger this. In a world without ChatGPT, I do not think that this couple would have been together. But because people don't like to critically think, or people have preconceived notions about AI, they will blame OpenAI, the company, and say, look, you're responsible for individuals getting divorced. When the same woman could have gone on a Google search using already available technology and find out how to read coffee cups, or she could have gone on social media and see a new viral TikTok trend, and same shit could have happened. Because the problem isn't how she would test her husband. The problem is that she already wanted to leave him, and all she needed was to justify to herself how not to feel bad about it. Now, her reason for leaving him, I don't fucking know. If he was actually cheating on her, I think that's expected. I think any person in any relationship wouldn't be Pikachu face if the woman leaves you if you're cheating on her, right? But what if he wasn't? What if he actually was faithful and was just like a normal man? And she left him anyway. Also possible. Both situations are possible without further information about the man, the behavior, what exactly did happen, from an objective source, not from her, by the way. Like from a third party, probably a family friend, and probably like in this situation, you would need more than one person. Like you need several people, because like even the family friend could be on her side or his side. Without knowing any of that, we cannot accurately tell. We don't know who's to blame. Unless we objectively know if he cheated or not, then we can't know. If he was actually cheating, she did nothing wrong. I don't think we need to live in a society where cheaters are encouraged. And the way to discourage cheating is through separation. I wouldn't sit with my wife if she cheated on me either. Don't fucking care about what society thinks. No one can force me to share a house with a cheater. And so I can understand if someone thinks the same way. But if he didn't cheat, if he was loyal, and she left him, and she is to blame, right? So anyway, this is why I wanted to make the video, to highlight the fact that most people do not even try to analyze the situation. They see a newspaper title, they blame ChatGPT, and then they move on. And, what this actually ends up doing, this is another aspect of the lack of critical thinking. That there's a lot of people that actually hate AI. And to be honest, I'm not an AI bro. I don't think that in the future we will have Skynet, or that in the future we will have Star Trek. I don't know what the future can bring. Like, it can differentiate between if AI will be able to become less hallucinating, less spreading false information, if it's going to be cheaper to use, because right now it's not profitable, right? Like this whole model of OpenAI running these software programs for the world for free is not sustainable. Right now, the only reason AI exists is because they have a lot of investor money and investor backing, but in the future, it's likely that the website is going to be heavily restricted. Again, we don't know if the AI is going to take your job or not. I do understand people who are upset about it, but what I do know is that AI safety and the guardrails that come with AI is actually bad for the public. At the end of the day, the corporations that will replace you, if AI becomes a thing, they will use AI models that don't have guardrails. They will use AI models that don't wonder if something is safe or not. They're going to wonder if something is useful or not. I'm pretty sure that CIA agencies and other intelligence agencies, they already have AI models that offer human predictability, that give correct and uncensored information, and they operate much better than the last version of ChatGPT. And so if you want to live in a world where the government has access to AI models that can write the best psyops and the best way to manipulate the public and share public opinion, while you yourself are going to run a crippled version of ChatGPT 3.5, then keep on it. Keep attacking ChatGPT and blaming it for causing divorces, for causing this and this and that, to justify to the government that is just looking for a reason to restrict models further. The way that I view a future where the public wins is when everyone has their own personalized AI. And when you want to fact check something, you use your own AI in order to fact check it. And this is the biggest fear that governments have, because in such a system, it's going to be very difficult for governments to manipulate you. It's going to be very difficult for corporations to lie to you about buying a product. It's going to be very difficult for universities to persuade you to make a bank loan that's in your disfavor by getting a degree into something useless, because everyone is going to have their own personal AI, just like everyone has their own smartphone now, and they're going to ask it questions. And unfortunately, whether I like it or not, whether this is a dystopian future or a bright one, I do think that this is what's going to happen. If we keep moving this path, it's inevitable. And so the only question is, will the future allow us, citizens, to be able to have our own personal AI that's unfiltered and judges the world based on is it useful to you or not? Or are we going to be in a future where only the government and the corporations have access to that technology, while you, the person, are going to be unable to differentiate if what you're seeing on social media is true or not, and so the government can yet again step in to legislate more, to restrict more of your rights in order to provide fighting against misinformation, disinformation, and other things that are harmful to you. So let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.